Good afternoon. My name's Elliot Cafferly, and today I will be going over Ansible and the applications of Ansible and what Ansible is. So Ansible is a automation software. So first we'll go over why automation. Automation can be impact. You can see automation's impact in two different ways outlined here: the team's impact and the enterprise impact. And the way I like to see this is the individual and the business. So first we'll go over the individual or the team impact. Reducing repetitive tasks. We've all had jobs that have tasks that we have to complete, once a shift, once a week or something like that. And the first time we do it, we pay a lot of attention to it. Next time it's a little bit less. These repetitive tasks just pile up. But with Ansible, we can automate these tasks and put less strain on people, because people do not enjoy repeating same tasks over and over again. Next, it will save time and increase productivity for the team. So if you have a team that, once a day they have to do this same task, if you automate it and instead that this task, you know, normally this task would take about an hour, instead it will take 5 minutes. With that 55 minutes, we can start our day earlier. We can get in some more productive uh, tasks and, maybe focus on some tasks that aren't or cannot be automated and need human oversight. And next, it'll lessen errors for the team. So with repeating tasks over and over again, once you've done it a few times, some errors might slip in once, here or there. We've all done it. Uh, so with automation, it will lessen the chance for these errors to occur and, the human factor with it. Next, we'll go over the enterprise impact. So if you're looking at this from a business, uh, you know, having automation can increase the resources that you have. So let's say for a team, let's say they have a task that they must complete every day and it takes an hour, but now they automate it and now it takes 5 minutes. Have increased resources of that team. They have more time, so increased resources from them. And next is overcoming complexity. With some tasks that, uh, for example, I have a program, I wrote a program that calculates my rent expense for the month between me and my roommate. Because we have a deal that I pay the internet and the electric bill up front, but I just take his half out of the rent. So I pay less in rent because I've paid the bills up front and he pays more in rent. And I have a program that I just put in the numbers and does the calculation for me. Uh, I wouldn't say it's complex, but doing it by hand is more complex than the automated program of it. This can be applied to many different areas. Uh, so that's how it can decrease complexity and overcome it. I so understanding Ansible's history can give us some insight into what Ansible is and what it aims to be. So Ansible noticed the digital change and wanted to make something that was simple and a great fit for all IT professionals. Their focus on simple and effective was their thing, because with simple they had one word in mind, and it was adoption. The adoption of softwares for companies is a huge deal because companies do not want to they don't want to put a lot of manpower into implementing a solution, and they don't want to spend a lot of time training in the solution. If it's too complex or it takes too long to set up, some companies might just not consider it at all. Ansible took this into consideration when creating their product and realized that they didn't want to just be another software product. They wanted to last the ages and become a great software for IT professionals and businesses to use. Next, we'll talk about Ansible's automation and what it does. So first, Ansible aims to create. Ansible is made to help customers create the automation they need. So Ansible is set to be customizable enough to whatever your need is or whatever your task is, job, you can create an automation for it. And later we will look at a screen of or a dashboard of Ansible and look over that and go over it to see kind of what more about it. Next is manageability. So Ansible is able to help manage a customer's automation across their organization. As we'll see in the dashboard later, um, you have you can look at your tasks, you can look at your machines and stuff like that. So it's very organizable as long as you set it up that way to be able to see all the tasks and jobs throughout your organization. And another thing Ansible scopes in on is scalability. Ansible is very easy and scalable to any size in any environment. This is something they pride themselves in, and whether you have a small business or a large business, Ansible aims to be able to scale to that business. And over at this Venn diagram, we can see it has modernized, migration, and optimization, and Ansible in the middle. So what they mean by modernize, Ansible sets out to bridge the gap between traditional IT environments and newer agile implementations. So if a company has a older IT solution that they've been working with, Ansible aims to bridge the gap and aid that IT environment with newer agile implementations. Next is migrate. Ansible aims to use automation to migrate applications to newer infrastructures. So much like bridging the gap with modernization, Ansible is aiming to migrate applications from like older infrastructures. You can just migrate it to a newer one. Next is optimization. Ansible sets to deploy continuously and can optimize development times within an IT environment. So much like Docker can deploy to a IT environment or a server. Ansible can be set to do that as well. Next, we'll look at the use cases for Ansible. So first we have networking automation. Uh, Ansible can be used across many different networking devices, making it easy to automate the entire networking and IT process that comes along with setting up networking infrastructure. So whether this be running tests on networks, you get a network set up and then you need to run a test to make sure that it's running at the correct uh, bandwidth. Ansible can have a job set for that and run through it and have it automated. Next is server infrastructure. Ansible has the goal of spending less time managing and more time innovating on your infrastructure. Ansible allows you to reduce the time needed to manage infrastructure and give the IT professional the time to improve and work on more projects. So much of server infrastructure is managing all the servers you have, which can consume a lot of your time. Ansible aims to decrease this time of managing so the IT professional can focus on, future projects or improving the environment instead of maintaining it because Ansible wants to give their customers that freedom. Next is event-driven animation. Ansible sets automated responses to actions taking place inside an IT environment, giving faster responses than having it manually act against these problems like a server outage. So what this means is that Ansible can be set to if a server outage happens, instead of having a IT professional manually run tests or run the setup process for that server, Ansible can act as an event-driven automation and see when these server outages happen and perform the tasks set for it. Next is security automation. Ansible can be set to automatically respond to security attacks when they happen, which can reduce data stolen and can give IT professionals the opportunity to explore other security threats that may require human oversight. So, there's different kinds of security, different levels of security breaches that can happen. And Ansible can be set to automate these areas, check for break-ins and stuff like that within their programs and act on it when it happens, much like the event-driven. This is event-driven for security. Reduce the amount of data stolen, but instead of having a person come in and manually take care of the problem, it can automatically do it, which reduces the time. And many other use cases like cloud automation, edge automation, configuration management, application development, and continuous delivery. Here is the Ansible dashboard. As we can see, the templates right there are named, and these are the kind of jobs. And you can see the type of job it is. So it's a job template, workflow job template. You can see when it was last ran, and the rocket ship icon to the right, that's just a one button click and it launches the task, right? So it's very easy. You can see here that as long as you name everything correctly and organized, you can search for it. You can you have it all right here. So Ansible, as I said earlier, has an emphasis on simple, adoption. So companies will see this and, it doesn't look scary at all. It doesn't look like intimidating. So it's what Ansible aims to do. In conclusion, Ansible sets itself to be a simple and effective software for automating IT processes in any aspect of, any use case. Ansible sets to automate for IT professionals. Thank you.